So we're working on the grid. Okay, so the idea is our grid is like not the best right now. It's making things harder on ourselves, and it's potentially making it so that when we query things, we're getting the wrong items. So our camera is able to query, but we're not finding the right items based upon its location. Instead of fixing a query and then fixing a grid, which will make us have to work on the query again, I just want to fix the grid, and then probably just immediately afterwards, fix camera, fix query, so that camera can get all of the entities that need to be drawn. So that's gonna be the idea today. And who knows, this might be a couple days. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to use a hash map to store the IDs of where things are. And this is going to allow us to just not have a sort of like a grid data structure created at the beginning that's just really giant and huge. The only thing that's created is whatever's inside of it. So we can have coordinates and then a vector in a hash map. And I think that'll be better. Now, we did learn that an empty vector doesn't allocate anything, which is also really nice, because that means I can actually just create a create all of the grid areas, and then it's not going to like take up any extra memory. That's nice too. I'm looking at my activity feed. I see that Quill Twitch bot gave me a cheered with 100 bits 4 hours ago, which I was still asleep. So thank you, Quill Twitch bot, if you're watching the stream. Also, Anthive.io rated me with a party of 9 right now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, Arctic Space Boss. Hello, Anthive. How was your stream, Anthive? Hello, Space Green Cat. What are we working on today? Let's party. Well, let's definitely party. We're gonna get the release. We're gonna get the game going. Yeah, we're gonna get the game. The Get the Screamer game. So this is a game we do when we get raided. If you haven't seen it before, you're going to use these chat commands like #fire and then the column, and that's going to drop these things on me, and I'm going to do my best to avoid this while I'm also chatting with you in chat. So Anthive, I think I missed it, or maybe you didn't get a chance to say anything. What were you streaming about? How was it? It was amazing? Awesome. Well, that's always good to hear. I have to remember to go towards the swords if I'm not sure of where it's going to land. Running away just doesn't help. This game looks cool. Oh, thanks. I thought that was a sword at the beginning. Oh, man. All right. Avoid all of you. I almost got over into the corner in time. I wasn't sure how to get away from that snake. That sword was right there too. Arctic Space Fox with 55 brings it to 152 points total. Anthive with 2. But you got me. You got me. Yeah. You love that game. Thank you. I think that's my most successful game that I've made so far. It's actually fun to play. It's hopefully fun to watch also if you're just watching and not participating, and it's fun on my side as well. Be proud of yourself. Thank you so much. All right, so what we're working on here is I'm working on a template for it's not a game engine because I'm using GGEZ as the game engine. But it's basically sitting on top of that so that I can use the template to create other games. This is also like really a practice with game programming patterns and trying to improve ourselves. So there's a lot to sort of like, refactor as we realize, hey, we could have done this a lot better, but it's a learning project. So that's it's perfect for that. I should make a game with your stream cat. I recently learned that for like compelling VODs on YouTube or maybe even Twitch, if I start with the title that I want to like of the project that I want to make, that could help out a lot. So if I think about game titles that would work with Zilby. Zilby is our kitty cat that comes and joins us every once in a while, who is not down here right now. I think he's up with my wife upstairs, so like 2 floors away. Then that could be interesting, but I'm not sure exactly what that'd be. Like, So, I don't know. Maybe if I like learn some hardware type stuff, I can make some like actual physical thing that he can play with. You have an idea for a game which I want to put on your stream. Do you recommend any game engine in Rust? So the 3 game engines that I know / have heard of that I also like, people have given me recommendations for. So obviously GGEZ. Negative is you have to do a lot of work, as you can see, to sort of get it done. There's very little it does for you, but it also like handles the graphics and the game loop. There is Amethyst, which I've heard really good things about, but I've not touched at all. And there's a Godot, which you can... What is it? Godot, you can use a plugin to make it so you don't have to program in C# or C++. You can program in Rust, but I guess like the negative of that is it's all like C or C++ code that you're calling into. So therefore, you use a lot of the FFI. So there's going to be a lot of unsafe in it, which doesn't sound that bad if you're learning how to do that kind of thing. Actually, that sounds pretty good. But yeah, there's a bunch of people who have been using Godot on stream, like Togglebit and Peyton Rules. So you can watch their streams to sort of get a feel for how that looks. Godot shall be. All right. Okay, so if we're creating a new grid here, so here's our grid right now. Our grid is basically just, as you can see, it's a vector. It's a classic matrix. So we have a vector for like the down, and then a vector for the rows, and then a vector for in each cell. What we want to replace this with is a hash map. Now I'm not sure. Maybe I want to do something like create a new file in here and do grid v2. Just so that I can write this on its own. Antive is making a game like Screeps, but you can use any real programming language you want. You program ants. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's awesome. And that's perfect because like Screeps, there's not really any like reason why you're doing that. So maybe like an ant colony where you're like trying to like feed the queen and do other stuff. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'd love. I'm gonna. Can I actually go? I wish that there was. Oh. Open in a new window. That didn't really work. Yeah, I need to go give him a follow. Anti-IO. And I think this is it. Follow. All right, so this is the URL for Anti. Give them a follow also if you're also interested in seeing ants that you can program like scripts, because I would love that. I would love to I love those type of games where like you program to make them run. Those and simulation games, those are my favorite. All right, so we have a grid v2. So I want to like start this out and like figure out how I want to like insert, I guess. So let's just sort of start experimenting around here. So I'm gonna have a pub struct. This is gonna be a grid, and I know that inside we're gonna need a width and a height, and the width and height of the grid is gonna be the number of cells for each direction. So width should be a U32, I suppose. Height should be a U32. And then my idea here, I wonder if it would be easier to do a to do some tests to sort of like show this off. Is when I insert something in, I expect it to be inside of a hash map. So that's going to be the other thing, is the grid is going to be a hash map. So I guess we can have like the cells, and that's going to be in a hash map. And we're going to have probably a tuple for the coordinates. So like X and Y. And that will be probably a U32 for X and Y. And then for the actual, like whatever's inside of it, we could put a cell, which would be this cell here. So, wrong kind of cell. I want that kind of cell. Dota 2 Attitude, hello! How are you doing today? Okay, so if I have this, then if I want like a test for, it's a whole new class, a wonderful place you never knew. I agree. Like when you create a new file and it's empty and like there's all the possibilities, it's before you've written all the code that you then regret later. That's perfect. Oh, from the Aladdin song. Oh man, it's been forever since I've seen Aladdin. I've not seen the remake, like the one with real people instead of the cartoon one. I just watched the original way a long time ago, and that was it. No one to tell you no, or where to go. A whole new class for you. All right, let's figure out how we want to do this. We probably want like inserts to throw something in. Let's have a test section, and inside of here we're gonna have a test. So we're gonna have a grid. So test the grid, and we probably want, even if we instantiate it, it's gonna have nothing in the grid. So it should probably be an empty hash map at that time. Hi Stacking, how are you doing? Well, I guess that's the first question is like, should we instantiate and like fill out a grid completely before we go? Quite possibly. So if I do something like that, that's going to be grid instantiate. If I want to do something like let grid equals grid new. So obviously we're going to have a new grid. Now if I pass in, we want to pass in the width and a height. Let's also do that. Now the question is like, I want the width in pixels. And I want it to like calculate this out. So if I have a 100.0 pixel width, so this is going to be like the world width is, let's say 100, and world height is 100. Oh, that almost worked. That almost worked. He did 3 projects for today's 50 project course. 2. 50 project course? That sounds crazy. Rookcirker bot, it's close. I threw that in there, but I guess it didn't work. I need to like update the bot command that I have, because I don't think it knows how to do like injection for that. Yes, I'm well, I'm not from Denver, but I'm living in Denver. Oh no, what happened? We got a bunch of links deleted. Let me check to see what happened. Right, bot. Oh, it was okay. It's a Udemy, a link to a Udemy course. That should be pretty safe. Here, I'll post that in there. I probably don't normally. There, that's the link to the course. With cool. All right, guess no. All right. Well, apparently I can't actually. Oh, there it is. 50. Okay, so it's a web stuff. So HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, 50 projects in 50 days. Cool. I could see that being interesting. The other thing that's really interesting course-wise is the JavaScript 30 and 30 by Wes Boss. I've heard really good things about that. I have not done it myself, but it's also apparently a really good sort of course. It's awesome. Little stuff you commonly probably want to do in HTML. Yeah, that kind of stuff is really fun. I work with somebody who is very, very good at CSS, and it's really awesome to sort of like see how fast he can go through that stuff when I'm not terrible, but I am much slower than him. All right, so then we want unit width equals, let's say there's 10 of these. Unit height equals 10. Okay, so if we do this, and heck, I can make this like 20. We can make it different. Maybe I can even do that. Let me make sure that the math works out here. Okay, so I know that for width and width, if it's 10 and 10, we're going to have 10 across, 10 cells across. But if it's 120 and 20, are we going to have, how many are we going to have? 6 across? Divided by 20. We're going to have 6 across. I have no sense in design, so I just embarrass yourself with CSS. It's I would say like I don't have any sense in design. Graphical design. I mean, heck, take a look at my my thumbnails when I do create them. They're like the simplest things. And that's actually the reason why I don't do thumbnails is I just don't know how to do them right. But like it's a skill I want to learn because I think it's going to be important for me. And I think it's important for everybody to have like the basic, like just the core. All right. So if I pass in the world width, so the world width, the world height, the unit width, and the unit height into this grid, we would expect to get out of here a hash map that has all of these different, I guess like a hash map of the appropriate like grid coordinates. Making design look like a programmer didn't program it is difficult. Yeah, I can see that too. I've not been very good at it, but one of the suggestions I was given a long time ago by a designer is to create a bookmarks file that has just a list of inspirations, and by inspirations, just websites, or images of like other things that you just want to blatantly rip off design wise. It's like, oh, you really like those button looks and you don't know like how to design buttons. Just like, yep, just go and grab those off. Yeah, I don't know. Dribbble. I actually haven't looked at Dribbble very much. Is that where like just people do individual things? Like here's a button isolated on its own. I kind of like seeing the context of everything else. Of like, ooh, I really like these buttons. Just go to Dribbble, take a look what it is. Sure, let's do it. Okay, yeah, so there is a bunch of context in a bunch of these things, which is good. Okay, yeah, so I could see this. If you sign up, I'm certain that you can bookmark some of these things. Or you can just not sign up and bookmark them anyways. And then say things like, ooh, I really like, these buttons, the way they look. So go to one, look at the design, and mimic it. Yeah, and you probably want to like take little pieces of everything. So you can say like, ooh, these buttons are really nice. I like that green. I like that, or even if it's not the color, I just like the way they look and the spacing. So I'm going to just copy that for my buttons. And for everything else, I'm going to copy, some other little piece. So it's take from a bunch of different places. I would start with that. And then later on, you could figure out how to like use a color scheme to make them all look appropriate with each other. Okay, so how is this grid gonna work? If I have 10 across, I have 10 across and 6 down. Or you realize you're not a designer and use Bulma and call it a day. Bulma is good. Bulma is very good. I like using CSS frameworks a lot. Although I'm using Vuetify at work right now, and I used to love Vuetify, and then after using it a whole bunch, they're not like it's not as great as I was hoping it would be. They apparently use a lot of bangs behind the scenes, which so if you're a web developer and you know what like bang important means and like how bad that is, it's in their code base everywhere. It's terrible. Okay, so we have our grid. How do I want to like verify? Should I just how do I want to do this? I guess I could just manually create this. So if I do like a let expected grid is equal to, I guess not grid, but expected like cells is going to be equal to a hash map new. So instantiate a new hash map, and then we want to insert into here. So we need you to be mutable then. So what would this look like? Gonna have expected cells dot insert. Our key would be something like 1 1. Should we start with 0 on our grid? Like 0 at the top left. So 0 0. And then you would be a cell new. Something like that. Okay. So if I do this, we'd want 10 across and 10 down. So 10 across and 5 down. Let's actually change this up a little bit to be a little bit more. Yeah, let's do 10 and 20. And so if I do something like 5 and 10, that means we should have 2 to the right and 2 down. Wait, another raid. Togglebit. Welcome, Togglebit. With your party of 62 raiders. Awesome to have you here. Well, you know what this means. Oh, Togglebit, you have to run? Well, have a great stream, Togglebit. Thank you so much for the rating. Sorry you can't stay and play the Get the Streamer game. But that means it's time for us to play the Get Streamer game, everyone. We, due to our raid, send a sword from Togglebit. Definitely, somebody send a sword. Togglebit always run because he streams to the extreme. I do that sometimes too. It happens. All right, so if you're new to this game, you're going to use these commands like hash fire, hash sword, hash snake, along with the column number, and you're going to try to hit me with them, and I'm apparently screwed. So many. Get out of it. Oh, I can't believe I avoided that. I couldn't get the heart. There we go. Oh yeah, now we have hearts. Oh, come on, I'm just wasting my hearts as fast as I'm getting them. Sit in a corner, maybe you won't hit me. Oh, snakes. Why did I add them into the game again? Oh, right, because it makes it you can win. Oh, it's slowing down. Does that mean I'm gonna win? I'm missing all those hearts. Oh, I shouldn't have challenged you all. Too much! I just need hearts to survive. Oh, cup. Oh, am I gonna do it? My iframes might save me here. But I just need the hearts. Just need hearts to stay alive. Oh, here we go. I think I have enough. Yes! Thank you. Thank you, everybody with the hearts. That's the only reason I was able to survive that long. Nipsey with the 196 points that time, followed just by Arctic Space Fox with 175. That was amazing. I think that was our best yet with the game. That would have been over a lot faster also if you hadn't been dropping all of those hearts. Bunch of chat spammers, yeah. Well, I mean, it's a I think it works out because you can get your chat spamming out of your system, and then we go back to this. All right, so everyone, we are working on a game programming template with GGEZ and Rust, and we're trying to create a grid. We're sort of refactoring our grid to be better. Basically, I want it to be a hash map instead of a vector of vectors, or an array of arrays, depending upon what language you're coming from. And we're doing this all in Rust. Chat broke. Stream overlay again. Was it the chat? The chat overlay that's broken? I see a message in it. I see test. Okay. Then probably on their side. I'm using somebody else's chat overlay, and it's it's. I wonder how many it goes before it like resets itself. I guess on the server it resets. It fixed itself without a restart this time, so that's nice. So if I do this, if our world width is 10 and our unit width is 5, that means we're gonna have 2 widths for here and 2 heights for this. So we should have a 2 by 2. So that should make it really easy. So if I have a coordinate system, oh, you told CM Griffin about the bug? Awesome. He's always on top of it too. He does a lot of Rust as well. If you're looking for Rust streamers to watch, he's also a really great one. Okay, so if I have like position 1 1 here, we have a cell inside, and so that would be 0 through 1 on the width and 0 through 10 on the height. And so then we want to do another one. So expect cells dot insert, and this would be 2 1 on the X. So this is going to be up like that. Oh, Arctic Space Fox, you want to go back to lo-fi? All right, let's try that. Stations. Are there any other lo-fis? There's only one station lo-fi. Let's do it. And this is also a cell new. Okay, so that's that top right. Then I expect to have basically 2 more. This is going to be 1 2 and 2 2. And so this is what we expect our cells to look like in here. So we can now do a single assert equal that the grid.cells is equal to the expected cells. All All right, and we're gonna say that you're gonna be a type grid. That will make it easier for it to know what's gonna exist on here. All right, so you should be yelling at me about the lack of a new function here, but you're not. Probably because I need to save you to know that grid v2 exists. There we go. Okay. So first of all, oh no. Okay, so binary operation. Does HashMap not have a partial equal? Oh, that's too bad. HashMap doesn't have a partial equal. I was kind of hoping that it would. So then what's another test that I can do? I could count these and make sure that I've seen them. Can I get a length of expected cells? Okay, so expected cells dot HashMap does have partial equal. Okay. Oh, I wonder if the cell doesn't have partial equal, maybe? Yeah, this doesn't have partial equal. Let me add partial equal to you. Because entity doesn't have partial equal, because every time I try to do partial equal, it yelled at me because of dynamic dispatch. Oh, wait. We decided we're not going to do this. Oh, hold on. I remember now. Our grid is actually going to be made of two different things. It's not going to be cell in here. We're going to have a vec of u size. Basically, I think a u32, which is going to be the IDs of an entity. Okay. I remember now. So you're not you're a an empty vector. There, okay, that works. And then we're gonna just put the IDs in here in the cell. So we have the IDs, and then we can go and look up and so maybe if we have the cells here, should our grid also then hold the entities, which is going to be a vec of entity. Okay, so if new, we'd expect this to work out for us. So let's implement that new. So we know we want to take in the world width, which is an F32. World height, which is an F32. The unit width, which is an F32. And unit height, which is an F32. We're going to return a self. So how to calculate the width and the height. So the width is going to be the number of these that exist. And so I believe we're going to take 10 and divide by, so take the world width and divide by that. If I go to our calculator here, we can see that this would be something like if we have 100 and we divide by 10, we get 10 of these. So that's 100 for the world width. So it's going to be that width equals the world width divided by, let's see, the unit width. All right. Ever Vision. Hello. First time watching. What's their animation on the right under the chat overlay? Hey, Musean got it. And hello, Musean also. Oh, I didn't even notice. It was you who told me that they have partial equal. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, it's a drop game that we created. This one is in written in web technologies with P5.js. So yeah, you can do drop and well, a drop and not a dorp. And try to get it in there. The yellow platform is what you're trying to hit on, and the blue is supposed to be water. If I was to switch over to something like my I don't know, do I have it big on? No. Like for example, my starting tune, I have it big like that, so it's easier to see. Okay, so if we have you, that our height is going to be equal to the world height divided by unit height. Okay, so then we're going to create the cells. Well, okay, entities could be next because that's going to be easy, right? Like, let entities is just going to be an empty vector right now. We don't have anything in them. But the cells, is, okay, so we have to create a new hash map. So that cells, it's going to be mute. Then we're going to create the structure of this in there and sort of set that up for ourselves. So for everything going, and this almost doesn't matter anymore which direction we go, because it's just flat now. It's no longer having to do something like, okay, we have a Y and then we have an X that goes across. We can loop through our X's and Y's. And I guess like another question is, if we start in the top left, so we know we have a world width of 10 and a unit width of 5. So if I'm in position like 3 on the X, so if I take 3 and divide by 2, no, it's not that one. It's 2 divided by 3. That gives me 0.667. If I round this, it goes down to 0. Do I use this minimap? I mean, not very often. I keep on thinking about removing it. The nicest thing about it is when there's errors. Like, that's the nicest thing. It allows me to see those really easily. Okay, so I think this should start as, I should reduce everything by 1. So we should start with 0, 0, year 0, and 1. Year 0, and 1, and year 1, and 1. And we're programmers. We gotta start with 0, right? I think you mean floor instead of round. I can't remember what the easy. Okay. I do. I don't have the play here. I'm just gonna pin this. If I debug 3. Let's see, 3.0 divided by 2.0. Oh, hold on. That result equals 3.0 divided by 2.0. Result. Like how they give me like the nice dark here, but then they just white up here. Okay, so okay, 1.5. Other way around. 2 divided by 3. Okay, so there's my 0.66. And then if I take this entire thing and then I do an as U32, we get 0. So it floors regardless of what it is. So even if it's 0.6 and it's above 5, it goes down. And that's if I'm just converting it straight over like this. You're right, Musean. If I did round it, it would turn into the appropriate one. I think I want to do this one as a truncating system. So that way I can say like, hey, if you're in that 3 position, then you're going to be in 0, which is correct. Lord Mist, hello. Awesome to have you here. Okay. So we have this. We have our cells. We have a width and a height. We create a new hash map. So we need to create a loop to loop through the number of these. And I think this is going to be pretty simple. We're just going to do a for. This is going to be our x in 0 ... width. Now that's giving us an F32, and we need these to be U32s. So let's truncate these. It should be going in evenly. Okay, so width. And then we need to do the same thing for the y. So for y in 0 ... height. Then we can now create all of these. So we're going to cells.insert. It's going to be the tuple of the x and the y, and this is just an empty vector. And there we go. We're going to insert u in. And so at the very end, we're going to have our cells are all set up, and then we can return self with the width, the height, the cells, and the entities. And that's it. You need to know what entity is. And then you also... Oh yeah, I'm not caring about the rest of it. I'm caring mostly about, hey, what does the cells look like? Last time you struggled subtracting 2 U size. It's funny like which things in math are the hard. It's just so hard to work on. All right, let's run this test and see if it works. It does. Okay, so we have the basic structure of the grid now, which is going to be this tuple of coordinates and our vector of IDs for the of whatever is going to be in the entities, the entity ID. Okay, so if I want to take an entity and insert it into the grid, and I guess we can look at our other grid and sort of like see what methods we need to duplicate. We need insert, we need query, and then we need to like a bunch of these gets. So let's just do insert first. So what is this going to look like? So CI test insert entity into grid. We need to create a grid so that mute grid is equal to We can do something very similar to what we have here. Grid new. We can do 10.0, 10.0, 5.0, 5.0. So it's a 2x2 grid. And then we want to create an entity to insert into this. So let mute entity builder equals entity builder. Yeah. And then let just a basic entity equals entity builder dot create entity dot build. So there we go. We have our basic entity. Its location is 0, 0 because that's just what the default is. I can actually be explicit and set it to be something like 3.0 for the Y and 3.0 for the X. That should be in cell 0, 0. Okay, so if I do that, I want to then insert this entity into the cells. So we're going to do grid.insert and pass in the entity. And then we would expect that for this hash map, 0, 0 is going to be where it goes. So what is that going to be? Grid.cells. How do I get out? I don't want to remove. Is it get? Returns a reference to the value corresponding to the key. Okay, so get the key is a reference. Okay, so that's gonna be interesting. Oh, and it gives us an option. So if I want this to be like 0, 0, that means you have to be a reference. Yeah, okay, so get reference 1, reference 2. And that should give me a sum. Okay, so cells I get this, that should give me the vector, and the vector should have something in it. So if I then, if we get that out, so that this is going to be the option. So let's just do a, I don't know if I want to do an if let here. I don't know if that makes sense. But I also don't know, because I can't do partial equal on entity because that, fun. So, I guess I could panic if I get that. Matches can do guards. But matches, so I've only used matches for enums. How, like, what else can it do? You can use empty array if you're just going to panic. Vec index is vec.get index.unwrap. Oh, yeah, I could just unwrap it. Oh, yeah, I could just unwrap it. Hold on. So we get this. We're going to unwrap you to get the option out. Then I should be able to get the length. And you should be like 1 at this point in time. So we could also like do other checks to make sure like, hey, your location.x is this thing. The type system should probably help out here because we are saying, hey, look, you are an entity. We've only inserted one thing. It can't possibly be anything else. So assert. equal that. So we're going to get, okay, so get out of here. Okay, so that should work out. We need an insert. We're going to take a mutable self, and we're also going to take an entity to insert. We're going to take ownership of this entity, and we're not going to return anything. We're just going to internally mutate here. Okay, so what is that going to look like? We have to calculate where, like what the coordinates are that we're going to put into there. So what is that? We should probably create another function that does this for us. Assert matches grid.get 00 some cell if cell contains entity ID. Yeah, I could see that working also. Lindsay. I think this works just as well. Okay, so if I do our insert, okay, we need our coordinates here, and so this is where we had fun with the math. So if I want to say something like, it's like, what is it? 3 divided by 2, or is it 2 divided by 3? So 2 divided by 3. Yeah. So 2 is the number of cells that we have across, and 3 is the position of where it is. So what this would look like is, let coordinates equals, it's a tuple. So what would that be? The x is going to be the number of cells. So that would be the self dot width divided by the entity dot location dot x, and then self dot height divided by entity dot location dot y. So that gives us this U32. That's our key now. Then I want to just insert. Well, it's going to be a little bit more difficult than this, right? Because we're not inserting the entity. In fact, I think I can just do this as position zeroness should be 1. Because I think the ID of this entity, I think it's 0. I think we're 0 based for the IDs of the entities as well. We're gonna find out. In fact, I can actually stave that off here. We're gonna do let entity ID is equal to entity.id. And then I don't have to magic number it. Entity ID. The other thing is we need to assert equal that the grid dot entities of position 0 is now dot, let's see, position 0 is going to have entities in it, which we see here. So ID is equal to entity ID. As for entity not being partial equal, I assume entity is a struct with some box traits in it. You can manually implement partial equal to ignore those fields. Oh, I didn't think about manually implementing partial equal. That would probably be, that would be really nice. Right, yeah, it has some dynamic dispatch for the boxes. It does, yeah. So if we go into look our entity. Oh, it's mod. Yeah, we definitely have some of these, which are causing us problems. So that would work out really well. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I like that. So let's also add in here implement partial equal manually on entity. And the equality, that would probably just be the ID press coordinates. Probably, yeah. Maybe like the state too. Like there's some of those things that we can check. Okay, so in here, here's what we're checking. Then, okay, so what are you upset about? Cannot divide U32 by F32. Right, so which one do I want to turn into a U32 first? If you're like a 3.3, let's say. Oh, here, let's do this. So let's say we have 2 to the right. If we have like a 3.3, if I turn that into a U32, that would become 3 divided by 2. If it was like 3.9, that would still be 3.2. I think the math would still work out. So I think I can do this as a U32 here. Okay, so we have our coordinates. Then we want to insert this vector. Insert this entity into the grid. But all we're doing is inserting the ID into the grid. Due to there. Okay, so then this is going to be. Let's see. We can do self.cells.insert our coordinates. Well, that's actually not right then, because we don't need to insert because we've already done inserts on this. The grid location should actually exist already. So what I want to do is get a mutable reference to that cell and then insert into it. So I want something like let cell equal to self.cells.getMute. Okay, so in terms of mutable reference, this is going to be our key. So that's a reference to coordinates. Now we have an option here. So do I want to return an error in the case that we can't find this? Maybe. Like it feels like it would not be a good idea if I just panicked. It would also feel like it's not an idea if I just didn't do anything. Like I should let somebody know that something terrible has happened here. And so I guess the question is, should I be creating my own error type, or should I just use the generic game error? The problem, like, and by game error I mean like one of the errors that's provided to me by GGZ, which is the framework that we're using. I don't know if I can find game error. Yeah, you're not gonna let me know. Here, let me pull it in. Game error. So file system error, config error. Okay, I don't see anything like specific here. So I probably want to use my own error for this. So yeah, probably not like a game result, because that's expecting a game error. And I could just do result. Don't think I want to do that either. We could create our own error enum. That might be good. So probably in here we need a create error enum to use in the game. That might be good. I wonder if I can have an error enum that then extends their error in a way. That might be interesting. So instead of result, if I go into our cargo toml, error I think is what it's called. Yeah, error. So sure, open. Error is an error handling crate. Oh, you could have a struct for that, like an error struct, or just an enum error. I was thinking an enum error. Oh, then it has like a game error. Yeah, I like that. I like that. It sort of like extends. That's how I can get the extension. So this error crate is written by Jane. Jane, what's her? She's on the Rustaceans team. See if we can find her. She does streaming. Although I haven't seen her on in a little bit of time, but that might be just winter. Yasi. So I love using like libraries that are like written by fellow streamers. She is, but she hasn't streamed for a long time. Maybe she'll be back. Like things got busy. Error is a fork of this error. Yes, that's also true. She did mention that in her conference talk. Also, the pun game is strong with Jane. It just takes these error and adds backtrace to it. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool things that she does. So if I do a result, it's an error result. It's that pulled in error. Then I think, what do I have to give it? I have to give the type of what it returns with, which is nothing if it's okay. Her opinion on how errors should be handled is exciting. I agree with that. I loved her conference talk at the RestConf about errors, and like that's actually how I discovered this crate, and I want to use it all the time now. I haven't used it much yet, so I'm still like learning how to use it. The boat style throw catch errors, while hers is more minimalist style that Jacholene pioneered. I think like her style is also like really focused on trying to print out what's actually going on as opposed to just handling the errors. Like it's really based upon the idea of like the entire point of errors is to let the programmer / user know what happened and why. And I like that. Okay, so if I get the cell, so if we have this option here, so we probably want a if let sum. Well, actually, I can do the if let sum in here, right here. So if let sum cell is equal to this. Now, if we have an else, this is where we want to return the error result. And that's where I need to like create an error for this. I don't have like a place to put that right now. It'd probably be good to put that under just source here. We could have like errors.rs. In our main library, we'll need to mod that. And so then in errors, we're going to have to do pub enum. I'm not sure what I want to name this. Like my errors, game errors. Well, game errors are like theirs. So this could be like the BB errors. I don't know. I'll have to figure something else. And so then we can have this game error, which is a tuple for game error like that. We also have to derive something here, don't we? We have to derive. Do we have an example? Okay, so format error, use this error, derive error, and debug for that. Okay. So a derive error. And so we need to pull in error. Rust got too many error handling libraries. It's still new in the like error handling is still new. I think like for Rust. And so like yeah, and as Museum says, until it's solved, it's gonna take a while. Okay, so use I can go from this error, but can I also go from error? Oh, we do not bundle a derive error macro, but you can write the impulse yourself or use a standalone macro like this error. Okay, so we can use just standard error. So standard error and use standard. Where is debug? Where does that come from? Oh, debug, it just knows what that is. Okay, so you're not. Cannot find derive macro error. That was apparently the wrong error. So that's not the trait. I could use this error, I suppose. Does error oh, okay, it doesn't re-export this error. All right, so let's bring in this error too. Ah, so rare to see something in a 1.0 release. Okay, so we're gonna use this error. I have to wait until Rust Analyzer completes. Okay. This error. And then there we go. Okay, now you're happy. It doesn't implement display. Do I have to manually do that? Can I have to manually do that, don't I? Yeah, I think I have to manually do a display, don't I? Let's see, I missed a lot of chat. Being a data scientist, no CS background who uses Python, would Rust be feasible and worthwhile to learn? It intrigues me, but struggling to find a good use case. You have no clues about security backend stuff. Oh, you don't destroy. Okay. So to answer your question, Rust has a pretty steep learning curve. It takes a little bit of time to get into, so it really gonna depend upon what your time frame is. If you've got like a your paper, your thesis due. Wait. No CS. Okay, so you're a data scientist that's in like the actual field now. If you got a project that's due like very soon. Rust is probably not the best to get into for that, but long term, like, yeah, I think it could be good. But in this such a way that I think that having all the tools under your tool belt so that you can work on any type of project with any other developers could be really good. Because I know with data scientists, like Python are both like really popular. I think Rust can be really good too for that. So we're gonna have to implement display for this. So display for errors. Implement that. Okay, so how do I want to do this? Oh, you can't box up tied this error. Oh, because they don't actually use real errors. Okay, cool. Okay, so how do I want to display this? Let's see. We want to do a. If I remember correctly, we just call write based upon what this is. So we're gonna have to match on self, build the match arms, and so if it's a game error, for example, I think we have the ability to just write this out. Right bang. We pass in F. Is it F or a reference to F? I think it's a reference to F. Oh wait, no, you're already a reference to F. And then just basically a format, like whatever we want to put into this. So if we have, this is going to be the game error. Oh, can I just type like, can I just do game error? Oh, it does display. Oh, you use this error to generate that display. Oh, how do I do that? Drive debug error, enum error. So derive debug and error. We have our enum error. So here's our enum error. Game error, you know, it's stuff. Nixative, yeah, Rust is growing, but yeah, it's rough. It's rough right now if you're just starting out and you're not having a coding background. It will change. So like learning it slowly now will probably, by the time you're ready, will probably be perfect. The error attribute is the magic. Wait, where do I put the error attribute? Error game. Test drive, then enum error, and then, oh, okay, so hold on. I don't do this. Inside of here, we do an attribute, and that's going to be error. Error. So this is like game error, colon, 0 like that, and then game error, game error. You're looking into non-data science projects. You like games or love game dev? I guess like, I don't know. It depends upon like the time you have and what your time, like how much energy you have for learning. Okay, so if I do that, ooh, okay. So then we have another error in here. What? Nightbot. What did you do? Hold on. Nightbot. I have an auto. I have Nightbot mod. It's never wrong. No, it's wrong all the time. Let's see. No, I don't. Not that. I need Nightbot. Tell me what happened. You did M Buffett. I don't know M Buffett, but it's for a bevy snake tutorial. So hold on. Let's just do this here. Bevy snake tutorial. Here. Okay, so it is the first one. And then back over here. There it is. Yes, that's this tutorial, making it in a brand new framework called Bevy in Rust. All right, back to here. So we're gonna have another error here. This is gonna be error. Well, that was game error. This is just gonna be a what is the grid error going to be? So the grid error in this case is going to be that the cell doesn't exist. So would that be something like that? And then we're going to do grid cell does not exist. They're going to come back to here, and so we're going to have this result, which is a error result. We're going to return nothing here, but if it's this else, we're going to return an error. And this is going to be our BB errors. Grid cell does not exist. That's what we're going to return here. Otherwise, we're going to return OK. Expect to struct error report found in enum errors. Okay. So that's not exactly what I need. Should error be non-exhaustive? I don't think I'm matching directly off of it though, right? So I don't think that matters quite as much. Found enum, BB errors. So expected an error report found in enum. Okay, so oh, that's what I'm supposed to be doing here. Oh, one-off messages can be constructed using the error macro, which supports string interpolation and returns an error report. Oh, I could just do this. With that being said, how do I get the report out? Okay, so I'm supposed to do this. Am I using the correct error? Maybe. So I'm doing something basically like that. Now, how to get the report out? because the error that we're getting for error is saying expected an error report found enum errors bb errors. So is this incorrect? Is this the wrong result that I'm doing? Is there another result that I need? Oh, I need to do an into to convert to an error. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let's put you back. Let's try an into. The trait bound is not satisfied because requirements on the impl of report. Okay, so that doesn't like that. Okay. So error. Oh, the into is inside of the error like this. Okay, hold on. Into in here. There we go. Got it. Thank you. Okay, so then in here, like if the cell exists, then we're gonna do we dereference the cell, say cell dot. Actually, it might work already. I might just be able to do cell dot push. I'm gonna push the entity.id in like that. Because I think it auto dereferences whenever you use a dot like this. Then I also want to push this into the entities. So we're gonna do self.entities.push, and it gets the entire entity here. So if I do this, our test should run now and work. Let's run this. Oh, it's got to recompile all those fun things. Error should have a context trait. Into, yeah, okay. So yeah, we got to use that into on the inside there. All right, and so that is inserting into our grid, which is perfect. So now we have the ability to insert in and not bother with it. If you're going to use error, just use bail or ensure. What? I don't even have to. Oh, wait. The other thing that I noticed here is I could just use this this macro also. But bail, I don't think I've tried. Is bail part of error? Oh, there's no search in here. Documentation. Return early with an error. Okay, so bail. Return error from. Oh, error. Nice. So let val equals map.get mute. Okay, so unwrap or else. Error cannot find. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I like that. I like that a lot. Let's do that. So here in this insert, let's do this again down here. So we're gonna say let cell equal to self.cells dot get mute. The coordinates is the key, and then we have the okay or else. We see okay or else takes in a function which returns none to error. No, we don't want unrack or else. It's unrack or error, right? Oh, or the else is an error, isn't it? Musing, you haven't been writing Rust lately? Oh no. I saw you were streaming the other day. Are you still doing Rust in your stream? It's okay or else, and then okay, and then we return the error message. And then, okay, then we return, okay, so okay or else, then we have a closure here. We're going to turn an error. Then the macro error, and then the message, which is going to be, I've only streamed a few times in the last few months, which were the only times you've written Rust. I guess like this time can be a little bit busy for a lot of people. So I can see that. So then we want to have the message be, can I use this very similar to format? Probably. So then we're going to have our error. So error inserting entity into grid at coordinates like that, and then coordinates. Cannot resolve macro error. Let's pull you in. Oh, you don't know. Okay, hold on. Where are you? There you are. Does that not work? U32 doesn't implement standard format display. Oh, okay. So you're unhappy about that. In format strings, ooh, wait, can I just do that? Oh, that works. Okay, perfect. So that gives us this cell now. Mismatch types, you need to be a reference. All right, so that gives us this cell, which is a result. Wait, is there? Oh, because this is the error that we get in. Error is the same as format. I wonder if it's wrapping format behind the scenes. Write, print line, etc. all use the format macro. Oh, nice. That is actually really nice. What are you? You're not anything. Okay, so now we get this result out of here. So I need to unwrap the result. Oh no, because I can question mark the result because it's based upon this. So then let's see. I can question mark you here. There we go. Now your cell. I want to return an okay at the right end here. The trait bound result error port is not satisfied. Jablana, hello. Come on, I was trying to like hover over it, but the window is so far away that I can't get to it. It just like it exits. Okay, so the trait bound standard result. Error port standard error is not satisfied. Required because the requirements in the impl of convert from. Okay, so line 58. So when I question mark this, it's basically this result, which is an error result, is unhappy. Now, is it... I don't think I can do this. Right, it's the error that's getting out. Come on. Do I have to do an into? I would think that this would like actually do that, but let's try an into in here. No, okay, so it's already the thing that we want it to be. It's the result that's a problem. You need a unit value. Well, I have like that, which is empty. I could return the coordinates. Like I could return just like a tuple of U32, U32, and just like return okay coordinates. But I don't think this is still unhappy. I think it's the error. Look at that. Result unknown report. Oh, the error already adds it? Oh, okay. So error. There we go. Okay. So now I can remove you. And you just become like that. All right, there we go. So we can just do an error like that. I don't have to wrap that in error. It was a type result. Oh, okay. But once it gets like too far, like deep nested, like my eyes just start like glazing over. It's hard for me to see it. But okay. So we have this. We now have our cell. We can now just do these things. So I can grab you and pull you down here. So we just cell push the entity ID and then entities in here, and then we return okay. So everything should still work exactly as expected. And it does. Excellent. Okay, so we're well on our way to having this work out the way we want it to. The other, let's see, do I have a grid? The other things that we want to add in here is a query. Get all entities mute. And then get all cloned. And then move entity and get in expect position. So we need to continue implementing all of these methods on it. So that's going to be the next one. So I'm going to go ahead and close all these down. Okay, nothing was left unsaved. Let's go ahead and get this sent on up to Git. You can get rid of this error plus your custom error now. Oh yeah, I definitely can. We can just go ahead and delete that file. So, for example, in the main library, we don't need this mod errors. In errors, we can just go ahead and get rid of this entire file. And in U, we don't need, let's see, you don't need game error. You don't need this custom error like that. Don't need entity. Don't need cell. All right, the rest of it's just yelling at me that I'm not using it yet, but it's under construction, so it'll be coming in soon. And yes, in our cargo toml, we can remove this error because we're not using that anymore. We're just using plain old error, which I like that. I think that's good so far. All right, so let's go ahead and run all the tests. Make sure that this is running the way we want to. As a note, ensure and bail are super useful. Okay, so we'll have to take a look at those as well. All right, so all the tests are passing. We can throw these in here. So you just added error. Here's our grid that we're creating. and we just added in a link to that. Okay, so this is recreating the grid using a HashMap. Next up is adding more of the grid methods to the grid v2. Bails like panic, but returns an error instead. So it's not like a true panic. It just works nicely. I'm going to go ahead and push that. If you want to follow along with this code, repo, bang repo is has a link to all this code in case you want to take a look at that. And it is 8:41. So I'm going to have to do an emergency stream shutdown so that I can head on over to work because I'm running a little bit late. I usually stop at 8:30, so I have time to sort of like, head on up there and do that. TLDR panic is like bail, assert is like ensure. Ooh, okay. And then they'll each like return errors if like they're supposed to. Which is nice. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to the ending screen. Thank you everybody so much for coming in. We had 2 raids today, which is awesome. I don't think either of our raider hosts are here anymore. I think they're all resting, or eating, or doing whatever they're doing. So if you came into the raids, thank you so much for staying with me. I will be back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Mountain Time, where I'll be continuing with recreating the grid and probably playing more of those errors and maybe some of the bails. Anyways, I've got to run to work, so have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.